calls are pouring in for a thorough investigation into the rape allegations leveled against the local government minister Nigel Darmlal. Today, two senior pastors, Reverend Leander Warren of the Guyana Congregational Union of Churches and Pastor Lawrence Haywood of the Bethel Gospel Hall Church, added their voices to the matter. Speaking in their personal capacities, Reverend Warren called for an impartial, unimpeded and thorough investigation into the matter and for the church to lift their voices.
I call upon the church and the wider religious community to snap out of its silence, its indifference, and join the advocacy campaign in order that truth be established and justice delivered. Remember, it was the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. who warned, and I paraphrase, that when the good remains silent, evil thrives. I also call upon the religious community and the general Guyanese public to establish safe spaces, put up guardrails to ensure the safety and security of our children so that they can grow up and enjoy the privileges of childhood and not live in fear of the adults around them. I challenge us to stand up now for the rights and protection of our children.
Meanwhile, Pastor Haywood said that children are gifts and are precious treasures from God that are to be protected.
We have, I don't want to say a crisis on our hands overall, but it may well be that in terms of ensuring that power, for instance, is used for service and protection, used to protect the vulnerable, whether we call them aliens, we have a lot of migrants in our midst, whether we call them strangers, widows, orphans, the entire indigenous community or First Peoples, Amerindians as we used to say, and in particular, wherever they are, in whatever of the regions, our children, boy children as we used to say, as well as, and particularly, girls. A very high retired functionary from the army referred to some folk against the backdrop of recent events as LGEs, and he wasn't speaking of local government elections. He was speaking of people who are little girl exterminators, people who seem to see those who should be nourished and nurtured and protected as easy prey, easy pickings. We need to stop that as a nation. We need to ensure that our children, whether in the education system, whether in the transportation system, whether in the communities in which they live, however described, however resourced or underserved, that they are recognized as a treasure.
He said the church has a role in the process of mentoring, modeling, and motivating the young.
Imparting to them virtues and values should be priority areas for the church in whatever ways is discharged, in whatever ministries, whatever the interventions. We should be the people modeling. We should be people motivating. We should be the people mentoring, along with families, of course. It need not be said. If we are shepherds, then there should not be butchers in our midst. There should not be people using the cloth, the cloak of the clergy, position to misuse and abuse authority, as happens and has happened in other sectors and should be stopped. We should be involved in helping with parenting.
The embattled government minister Nigel Darmlal was arrested, charged and released on $1 million station bail. The rape allegations against the minister are currently under investigations.